Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth, and give them warning from me. When I say unto the wicked, Thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Yet, if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17 through 19. Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Double honors to our venerable apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. All right, so brother Aharon coming back at you with a quick lesson, and Lord willing to be edifying and uplifting unto the elect. All right, and pretty much those are the ones that we come out here week in, week out, day in, day out. All right, pumping out these videos through the Holy Spirit to keep on giving you the warnings and the heads up, all right, of what's to come. All right, pertain to biblical prophecy. Now, to the rest of the world who are not in tune, all right, to this frequency that's being pushed out there, according to Matthew, the 24th chapter, Yahushua said that this gospel, all right, the gospel of the kingdom, all right, the gospel of the kingdom of heaven shall be preached, all right, throughout the whole entire earth, and then the end shall come. All right, so that vibration of the gospel being pushed throughout the whole entire world, which the word gospel means good news, all right, and the Greek is euangelion, all right, is only good news for those who are actually looking forward to it. Okay, but for the rest, as it says in 2 Thessalonians, all right, no, I believe 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, it talks about when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. And it's going to come upon them because they're not watching. All right, that they're not of the elect, so they're not going to be watching, so they can be prepared. Right, so, you know, most people that we see, all right, whether we work with them or they live in our building or they live in our city or in our state or in our country, whatever the case may be, all right, they all going to end up taking our MOTB, all right, and end up being destroyed if you're here in America, Babylon, the great soil. Okay, now, just a quick update here. I have an article I want to go into. All right, it's titled, Europe Plans to Introduce New Biometric Passport or Passport System. Japan set to introduce new entry system for foreign tourists. Okay, and this is lining up perfectly with the prophecy that we've been going into time and time again in regards to the mark of the beast. Okay, otherwise known as the MOTB, otherwise known as the radio frequency identification chip. Okay, that the major various leaders of these countries around the world are creating, all right, to bring about and make mandatory upon the face of the earth, right, all their citizens, as is written, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. Okay, that all is talking about a universal / global approach to digital identity. Okay, and that's what we're seeing now, and this article is also going to go into, all right, to emphasize that the mark of the beast is definitely not sin. All right, it's not sin in all its various forms, both political and religious. It's not that. Okay, the mark of the beast is specifically a device that will be more of an access, all right, to not only your identity, but also to your money. Okay, and we're seeing all the steps that's leading to that. So if you still can't see what the mark of the beast is after you've been told what it is, and we've gone into the words from the Greek and all that, I mean, hey, it is what it is. All right. But anyway, let's read this. It says, Europe plans to introduce a new biometric passport system in November of 2024, followed 6 months later. The number 6 again, right? We always go into how they're able to change or shift, all right, into the gear of prophecy within the span of 3 to 6 months. You start to see a lot of drastic changes. Okay, so they're going to bring out a system, and then shortly 6 months after that, they're going to bump it up into something else. Okay, and from November to May, that 6-month period, guess what? Here in the United States, the DHS, which is the Department of Homeland Security, all right, said that by May, I think May 7th of 2025, all American citizens will have to have a digital ID, otherwise known as the real ID. Okay, you could say real ID, but eventually they're going. It all ties in. All right, so from voters registration being digital, your driver's license being digital, okay, your passport, your visa, all these different things. All right, your banking cards and all that. Okay, your social security, all these different things is all shifting into your digital. Okay, your digital identity. All right, so you don't need to be physically at a DMV in order for them to notice that, oh, this is this so and so who lives at so and so address or whatever the case may be. They just type in your digital ID number, and everything about you pops up in real time. Okay, in real time. Oh, this person walked a few months, a few miles down the block over here. Okay, this person traveled over here. Okay, this person went to the hospital. All that information is happening in real time and being updated in their system. And that's exactly what they want. Okay, and then once they establish that system for people to get used to it, they'll bring in the MOTB. If they're moving within increments of 6 months, then we could very well see that MOTB come out within the next 2025, the next year. Okay, Lord willing. All right, but we will stay put and watch and see. All right, but things are happening, and they're happening at a very rapid pace, man. The Lord could turn things up within a span of days, and then the whole plan from next year or 6 months could become months. See, 2 months, 3 months, you're gonna start seeing heavy prophecies happening all at once in different parts of the world. Right? If we start seeing the mandatory mass chipping of a country like Australia and Canada, I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, we got 10 more years before. No. At that point, I know, oh shit, it's right here. You know what I mean? It's right here. You go to Canada or you go to Australia, you're going to be mandatory. It's going to be a mandatory implementation of the MOTB. They're going to be going through their hour of temptation right then and there. And then it's going to gradually, even though it's going to be accelerated, it's going to be gradually hitting the countries on this side, America, and so on and so forth, man. All right, but the EU has already taken major steps to fulfill this prophecy. All right, as this article goes into, right, it says Europe plans to introduce a new biometric passport system, and biometric goes into body measurement. Okay, that's why you have something known as the carbon footprint. All right, the carbon footprint, when you break it down, carbon is the sixth number of the element table. All right, it has a element number of 6. All right, and then the foot goes into measurement, right? You got 1 foot, you got 2 feet, and so on and so forth. So the foot is going to measurement, okay, the measurement of the person, okay, and then the print, all right, goes into a mark, all right, an incision, a mark, a print, a stamp, okay. So your carbon footprint is going to be a mark or a stamp, all right, that's implanted in you to measure everything that you do. That's why the guy from Alibaba said that shit. You know, we're developing a device that's going to basically track everyone's carbon footprint. That's what he said. Okay. So again, they're working towards their goal of fulfilling the MOTB. Meanwhile, you got clowns talking about it's sin. They're not even talking about sin. They're not advertising it as sin. What's sin done do for Esau? How does that benefit him and his agenda to control the whole world? How is that going to happen? Sin, we live in a sinful world. America is the most sinful damn country on the planet. You know what I'm saying? That they ain't controlling the world through sin, bro. They're trying to control the world physically through a microchip. All right, that's what's gonna happen. That's that MOTB right there, and they're gonna use deception to bring it out. Okay, deception mixed with coercion. All right, and threats. These are how they're gonna get people, man. Those who are not of the elect. All right. So going back to biometric, it says a biometric passport system in November 2024, followed 6 months later by a new travel authorization for many of its visitors. Here's what travelers need to know. EU, home of it, and EU is part of the beast. Okay, the beast is made of NATO and the EU. And of course, you could couple that in with the United Nations. All right, they are the ones, the so-called overseers of all things that happens. All right, in these different lands and so on and so forth. Okay, which they were put up by the Jays anyway as another form of control. All right, but you have the EU that says Home Affairs Commissioner Ylva Johansson confirmed that the new entry/exit system would be deployed on Sunday, November 10th, 2024, and that the new process is in the final testing stage. Shit, that excites the hell out of me because shit, to think about this, November comes up, you got this shit going on, and then December comes up, and then what's going to be coming next after that? Okay, you got 2025. Of course, November, you also got the whole election shit going on, whatever the case may be, right? So, hey, we getting ready for some mass propaganda. Okay, and I believe they're going to start clipping videos left and right because that's when the mass psyops come in. And once mass psyops come in and we start breaking it down, that's when they're going to start clipping channels. Okay, but anyway, let's keep going. It says the EES, which is the entry/exit system, is a new scheme that uses biometric data to allow short-stay visa holders and visa-exempt travelers to pass through borders into a Schengen area country. All right, I believe the Schengen, whatever, however you pronounce it, is pretty much talking about I think it's 29 countries right now. Basically the European Union. All right, from the border of Russia out west all the way to Portugal, Spain, them countries on the southwestern part of Europe. All right. So it says the Schengen area country. It says fingerprints and faces will be scanned as travelers pass through electronic gates. Okay. It is intended that it will replace passport stamps. You hear that? It is intended to replace. All right. So that means that there's already a system there, but this new system will be replacing the old. Kind of like the concept of the Great Reset. All right. The fourth industrial revolution. All right. Changing things from organic to inorganic. All right. Switching everything from the physical to the digital. Okay. So that's the replacement that they're doing right there. Okay. So it is intended that it will replace passport stamps, which are currently used across European countries. However, stamps take time and do not allow countries to record overstayers, which are people who have stayed longer than they are allowed. Okay? It says the system will register the person's name, the type of travel document, biometric data, fingerprints, and captured facial images. Okay? And the date and place of every entry and exit. You hear that? That sounds like all to me. When you go to that word all in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 16th verse, all right, that word all in the Greek means pas, P-A-S, okay, which means individually and collectively. Okay, individually is where you get ID, identity, where you're individually identified. And then eventually, of course, via broad mandates, it becomes more like states and countries and so on and so forth, continents and so on and so forth. Okay. So continuing, it says, the commission calls the EES, once again, the entry-exit system, okay, the most advanced border management system in the world. Most advanced because it encompasses everything. Okay. We're talking mass surveillance at an all-time high. All right, and I believe here in the West they're going to use the fear tactic of a so-called virus or /demic, and they're going to usher in a lot of these surveillance Vanessa, mandates and so on and so forth. All right, the contact tracing and all that extra shit, the border patrol, all that is all coming back. It's all coming back. All right, because it has to come back. The first one was a test run, so whatever comes after the test run is the real deal, right? You heard Pompeo sitting next to Trump. I don't know how many people heard that part when the CV first popped out back in March, right? And he was in a hot mic and he said, "Well, guys, this is a live exercise." A live exercise? Fuck you mean by that? You're locking people down. You're shutting businesses down. Mom and pop shops are closing down. People are losing their shit. And you talking about a live run, live exercise? Let's see. So continue. It says. The system in the world, the most advanced border management system in the world, ensuring that travelers do not stay in the Schengen area for more than 90 days in any 100 days. Johansson told reporters, "With the entry/exit system, we will know exactly who enters the Schengen area with a foreign passport. We will know if people stay too long, countering irregular migration. The entry/exit system will make it harder for criminals, terrorists, or Russian spies." Fucking Russian spies. It's like, is that a thing? Is it spies from Russia or the Russians who are being spies? I'm not too sure about that. All right. Russian spies to use fake passports thanks to biometric identification, photos, and fingerprints. Okay. And they show you that in Black Mirror. I forget exactly what episode, the episode number, but I remember the episode where the main character and his woman, they actually had devices implanted behind their ear. Okay, and it was connected to their brain, and they could scan back in time and all kinds of shit, right? And it was like a camera recording, you know what I mean? And when he got to, he was traveling, so when he got to the border, they asked him for his information, and he had to stop, open his eyes, and they were scanning, and they were able to go through all the way through to the beginning, where he started the whole process of his traveling, and they were able to get all his information and all that. All right, you good, you valid, you ain't got no criminal, nothing, you good. All right, you could go, you know? So that's the same thing. It's like they just bringing it into real life. Okay. They have another episode where the chick was obsessed with her social credit system, social credit score, right? Just like they have in China right now. Right now, as we speak, they have that system that we saw as a show. They have it in real life in China right now. And that same technology is being prepared to be brought over here to America, right? By way of the Department of Homeland Security, all right, the DOD, and so on and so forth. All these different agencies are working together. And once they kick things into gear, you're going to start seeing this thing come full-fledged, full force, man. All right, it's going to be done by way of these agencies, man. Okay? Because they're not regulated by nobody. Trust and believe that. They might make it seem like, oh, there's checks and balances and all that. Guess what? The people who work in the Supreme Court have ties, okay, with private entities, private corporations. That's why there's something known as the PPP, public-private partnership. Okay? Everything is being merged into one in order to fulfill this prophecy of the MOTB, where it says he calls it all. So nobody's exempt from this, man. All right? And trust me, it has nothing to do with sin. All right? The MOTB has nothing to do with thinking sin or doing sin. It has nothing to do with that. It's all about your ability to have access to buy and sell. And when that time comes, you will know. All right? But you got the warning firsthand over here. All right, starting with our elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down. You got that warning, man. Okay. So continuing, it says, meanwhile, traveling to Japan as a tourist has been a breeze for visitors from 71 visa-exempt countries and regions, as there's no requirement to obtain a short-stay visa at a local embassy prior to travel. However, that's all set to change in the future, as the Japanese government has announced plans to introduce a new travel authorization system which will require visitors to declare personal information online in order to enter the country. Okay, so just take this whole new announcements, all these announcements to introduce new stuff that they're doing, just keep on applying it to everything else. So they're doing it with travel, right? So that's going to put a stop on people's ability to go back and forth in places. Right? And then soon it becomes, once you're not able to travel back and forth without any freedom or with freedom, what happens is then they can focus on wherever you may be at, right? Since you can't leave, you can't go in, you can't come out. So now we can focus on wherever the people are at. See, and when that time comes, you're gonna see. So now you're gonna be okay. Your medical record. So now you can't say, oh, well, I'm in New York and they're coming down with all these draconian measures, so I'm just gonna go down to New Mexico or some shit like that. No, 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 no. Because New York is going through the same shit New Mexico is going through too. So how the fuck? Where you gonna go? You know, where the hell you gonna go? And even if you were able to go there, they're probably going through worse things than you are. You see? So that's how they're gonna clamp it down, man. They're gonna shut down their travel or ability to go back and forth, right? And then they're gonna start coming after your food, right? Just basically make life hard for you until you comply. You know? All right. The best way to take over somebody or a group of people, you stop travel, right? And then you start taking away their normal things that they use. Right, the food, the shelter, the comfortability. You take all that comfortability away, right, and then you promise it back to them, all right, but conditionally, right? Oh, the only way you can get back to this is by doing this. The only way you can go here is by doing that. See, and within a few weeks, people gonna break. Why? Because they'll do whatever it takes to get that comfort back. Especially now that everyone depends on so-called social media and the internet. Just take down the internet for a few days or few weeks or so, all right, and give a bogus explanation, and people are going to break down. And once they're in that broken down state, they'll do anything to get back to some form of normalcy. Look, they took a Vanessa that they had no idea what was in it, but they were willing to do it just so they can go back to the parties, the clubbing, the sports, work. I mean, damn, niggas was doing it to go to work. Like, shit. Well, then, you know. But, hey, it's going to be happening very soon, man. Very soon. And it will happen, like Trump says, quickly. Very quickly. Right? But we'll see. Continuing, it says the new system is set to run in a similar way to EST or ESTA, which is the Electronic System for Travel Authorization. Where is that at? That one is in the US. So they already got that, which was introduced as an anti-terrorism measure, but now has become a thing, right? Like the TSA. It started off with we're trying to protect you from terrorists. Now they treat regular people like they're terrorists. See, well, how do we know that you're not a terrorist? That's how it starts. We're doing everything in our power to protect you from the bad guys, the Russian spies, and all this bullshit. And then very soon you become the one who's they're protecting from. You know, motherfuckers go take a flight. You know what I'm saying? TSA patting you down, molesting you, harassing. Sexually harassment. Oh, it's crazy, bro. You know, grabbing people by the nuts, and females talking about they could feel their labia being played with. I said, well, what the fuck, yo? You know, all kinds of shit, man. Esau, man, bro, shit. Yeah, they're gonna make people very uncomfortable, man. That's why it says tribulation, great tribulation, man. All right, time of Jacob's trouble. That's mental stress, emotional stress. I mean, damn. This is gonna be past the time of the Greeks. All right, you want to talk about persecution? It's gonna be worse than the time of the Greeks, man. So Scripture says a time like never before. So when you even read the book of First Maccabees, the first chapter, just read all the way from beginning to end. All right, everything that was happening to Jake is about to be multiplied by 100. You know what I'm saying? Multiplied by 100. Okay, because back then Jake had a way to kind of move around, but now they're gonna stop the moving around. Now what? What are you gonna do? You know, man, shit. You better believe on the Lord. That's the only way out. You know, that's the only way out, man. Anyway, it says just as ESTA determines the eligibility of visitors to travel to the United States under the visa waiver program, the Japanese version, which the government has tentatively named JESTA, the Japanese Electronic System for Travel Authorization. So creative. All right. Will also screen visitors prior to entry using a similar online system. The government says the aim of the new system is to reduce the number of illegal immigrants who come to Japan from visa-exempt countries and regions and remain beyond the valid period of stay, which currently ranges from 14 to 90 days depending on the passport. Under the current system,
International airlines provide the government with passenger information of screening for screening shortly after takeoff, which means travelers who don't pass the screening still arrive in Japan, and although they are officially ordered to leave the country, many fail to do so. So because of this shit right here, right? Because of less than about 50,000 people, whatever, however many, just a guesstimate, right? Because of that, they're gonna create a whole new system for all the people in Japan just because of people who might stay for longer than they're supposed to. That's interesting. Very, very interesting. You couldn't have any other way, but this way. I mean, when they get on the damn plane, don't you know where they live at? The address. People, you got to put your address down. Okay, where you going? We're going to be staying. How long you going to be staying there for? I've been on a plane before. Like I say, about 45 minutes before you land, or 30 or an hour before you land, they give you these little pieces of paper, and then you got to fill it out. Wherever you're going, whatever Vanessa's you took. You know what I'm saying? If you took the malaria, whatever, you got to fill all that shit out. All right, if you go to a foreign country, that is, you got to fill all that shit out, man. So you mean to tell me, including your mailing address, your PO box, wherever you're gonna be living at, the living address, whatever hotel, you got to put all that shit on there. I don't know if it's changed since the past 5 years now, 6 years, right? But they already have a system that can track people down. So it's very interesting that they're bringing out a new system. That's why we're telling you, if you're unaware of the agenda, all this shit seems like it's just happening random events. But when you are very in tune with what's going on according to biblical prophecy and knowing the agenda, right? 2 Corinthians 2:11, that we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, his devices meaning his inward thoughts, right? Then all these things make sense. It's just events that are tied all in together, right? None of this shit is random to us, okay? Because we fully understand what Esau's agenda really is, okay? So continuing, it says, we better wrap it up. All right. It says, according to the government, the number of people who abuse the system and stay illegally in the country is considerable. Of the 49,801 illegal short-term visitors recorded in January 2016, more than 28,000 came from visa-exempt countries and regions. So about just a little bit above half, right? Half of the people, you know what I mean? But still, 28,000 people, you can track those people down. All right, if you really wanted to, you could literally track those people down, man. You know what I'm saying? But they're not going to do that. They will make things get worse, just like what you see in Colorado. You know, there's another article that I saw that they were saying that the angels, what's that? Hell's Angels, I think. Yeah, it's like some motor gang, whatever. And they were gonna go over there to confront the Venezuelan gangs and shit. Apparently, MS-13 done crossed the border, and they over here getting ready to get busy. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, they setting the stage up nice for something heavy, man. But we gonna see. We just gonna sit in the back, watch from the cut, you know, and watch the Lord do His thing, man. But you were warned. All these things we told you about, right? From Second Esdras, right, going into you know, a man desiring to go into a city and not being able to, right? You're hearing these travel bans coming soon. You're hearing these new ways of registering your information in order to travel. Is all coming around. Okay, we're seeing how people are going to be fighting against each other with swords in their hands. I mean, shit, nigga, MS-13 literally got swords in their hands. Niggas got machetes and shit, you know, chopping people up, doing human sacrifices, all kinds of madness. You know what I mean? But it doesn't seem like a big deal because it's happening. Yeah, you're catching a glimpse of it here and there, but it's not in the mainstream like that. It's not popping all over social media yet. Once it does, and they start putting attention to it as another fear tactic in order for them to come and protect you from the boogeyman, that's when you're going to start seeing the troops coming out, you know, little by little. Oh, we sent the troops over here. People go, oh, yes, please. Yes. Oh, my God, it's going to keep us safe. You know, it's like people that root for the police. They're the worst. They're the stupidest people on the earth. You know, I'm a hardcore police supporter. Yeah, the police is not here for you. They're here to enforce the laws and the unconstitutional, unlawful, so-called legal statutes. All right, that's been brought down by your so-called leaders who are all corrupt. That's what the police is there for. Police is called law enforcement. They're no longer called the police force, and it's called law enforcement for a reason. Okay, and they're here to enforce the law against you. All right, you so-called hardcore police supporter. All right, all the police. I saw a truck. I think it was Friday. Yeah, I think it was Friday. And man, I was like, oh, where is this place? And it says militarized police. That was written on the van. Militarized police. I said, damn. Right? So we're already starting to see the shift. All right? They already conditioned them to look at the people as the enemy. When you go for any security or training, or you work with the police or whatever the case may be, the training that they give people is to look at the civilians as the enemy. You understand? So by the time you finish your course and everything, you already have it ingrained in your mind that you're here to de-escalate against regular civilians. Like they are the enemy, they are the problem, they are our main focus. That's how they train the police force now. You know what I'm saying? So if you're something going down and you call the cops or they call the police to come in and save you, man, you asking for your ass to get shot or something. You know, I wouldn't trust the cops one bit. Personally, I don't trust them. All right, when you see what they do to our people, I mean, nowadays they're going after so-called law-abiding citizens. You know what I'm saying? They just abusing the fuck out of their power, so-called power, whatever illusion of power that they think they have. They have. All right, which only works in a time of peace, because in the time of war and chaos, cops don't matter. They get that work too. Shit, you going to? Oh, I'm a cop. You better stand. You better stand up, boy. They will knock your shit off you, man. Yeah, man. So, yeah, chaos is brewing. All right, and the police, they're gonna wipe all you niggas up out of there, man. You in the police force, just retire, get your 401k, find a different country, and go with your family and go live someplace, bro. Just leave this shit. All right, don't sit out here on some arrogant shit like you think you got some power, bro. When this shit goes down, the government gonna come after you too, nigga. All right. So yeah, man, this is coming for everyone. All right, the Lord is coming for everyone. Everyone is. If you're not of the elect, you getting cooked. Period. All right. Period. All right. So that's what's coming, man. That's what's coming. All right. See if I can get on a quick precept here. See, yeah, get it from here. Yeah, man, shit is about to go down. You got people joking around, playing games, you know, trying to party. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, man, it's not the time for that. You know what I'm saying? This is not the time for that. But we'll see. You know, Yahweh Bashim Yahshua about to make his move. Okay? And we're seeing all the signs that's leading to it. All right. Let's see here. This is the book of 2nd Esdras. Oh, wow. Book of 2nd Esdras. Let's see if we can pull that up real quick. Yep. 2nd Esdras chapter 9. Start from verse 1. It says, He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself. And that's what we're doing. All right. Constantly watching. All right. Paying attention to these articles and lining them up with and filtering them really through scriptures and prophecy. We're measuring the times diligently. Okay. That's what you do as a measurement. All right. Scripture is the standard. And you measure everything that's going on according to what is written in the scriptures. That is the measuring. Okay. It says, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which we have, right? We've seen the earthquakes in diverse places. We're seeing the famines around the world. Though the mainstream media is not mentioning it, when you see inflation, that's a form of famine. Okay. And it's going to get worse to the point where you're not going to have no food to even buy. Oh, it's too expensive. Shit. What about it ain't even there? That's coming. Okay. Remember, a time like never before. So these are just the beginning of sorrows. All right. Continuing, it says, when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Okay? And part of the visitation is what? Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. All right? And that's the times that we're in. Okay? And it's going to get worse and worse and worse. As is written, these are the beginning of sorrows. Okay? It's all leading to the hour of temptation, otherwise known as the time of great tribulation. Okay? And only the elect of the nation of Israel will be delivered from that. All right? By Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Okay. So yeah, man. Just wanted to give you a quick update that things are happening, things are moving. Okay, and it's all leading to the digital mandatory implementation of the MOTB, otherwise known as the Radio Frequency Identification CHIP. Okay, that is the mark of the beast, otherwise known as the MOTB. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it off there. Lord willing, you are edified and informed. In closing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakha Kodash, the water Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai. And until next time, Shabbat Shalom.